Asian story. Guys, everybody knows his story and her story, but what about the Asian story? Well, looking at this YouTube channel, they got 58,000 subscribers and they're actually trying to beat his story. Are they gonna do it? Let's find out.
He threw his microphone at our stylist. Nobody said a word. Not me, not the staff, not even our manager, because he knew exactly how much power he had. Every concert, the loudest screams were for him. He smiled for the cameras, signed every autograph, told every fan, "I love you." Then the second the cameras turned off, everything changed. Where's my food? Why am I waiting? Do your job.
Why would you treat your crew like that? I freaking hate two-faced people. Like, how about be nice at all times? Huh? How about that? Also, is this about a real celebrity? Let's find out.
Every day, someone new went home crying. I just kept telling myself, make it to payday. My little sister needed surgery. One more paycheck and she'd finally have it. I finally asked our manager, why don't we kick him out? He looked at me, then said, if he leaves, so do the fans. So I stayed quiet. The next day, he walked into rehearsal, looked at all of us and smiled. Remember, without me, this group is nothing. No.
Bro, this guy is pissing me off. Like, I don't give a dang. If you're in a boy band or whatever, you just gotta respect everyone at the same level. It doesn't matter what level are you in the business. Either you're a janitor or a singer, respect everyone.
Nobody argued, not because we agreed, because we were scared he was right. 3 days later, we started rehearsing for the biggest concert of our careers. He stopped the music, looked at our manager, and smiled. I've changed my mind about my contract. The room went silent. He crossed his arms, cut everyone's share, and give it to me. One of the dancers actually laughed, thinking he was joking. He wasn't. No raise, no concert. I looked at our manager, waiting for him to finally say no. Instead, he lowered his head, then nodded. Do it. One by one, we signed. Every dollar he took was one less for my little sister's surgery. He smiled. I knew you'd make the right choice. Then, the night of our biggest concert, our sound engineer handed me my microphone. Remember, switch it off backstage. I smiled. I won't forget. The concert ended. The crowd erupted. He walked backstage.
Ooh, they're probably gonna sabotage him.
Followed him. My microphone was still on. He slammed the dressing room door. Where's my money? I carried this entire show. And someone get me my food. I want out of this dump. I've got a club to get to. He kept yelling at the dancers, the stylists, the makeup artists, everyone. Then he stopped. They were shouting. At first he smiled, thinking the fans wanted more. Then he listened. They don't need you. Again, louder. They don't need you. He looked up at the arena speakers. His face went pale. He ran back onto the stage. 20,000 fans were chanting, they don't need you. He looked at me, terrified. What did you do? I smiled. Nothing. You always said you made this group. Now let's see how you do without one.
Wow. So he was recording him. Yeah. Not recording. He was just, they kind of used the microphone. Yeah. And all of the fans heard how rude this guy was. Yeah. Behind the scenes and disrespectful and so full of himself. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this story is true, but it is definitely something that you can take out of it. How about just respect everyone? Be nice to everyone. Nobody wants to be around a crap. Nobody wants to be around a bum. Yeah. A good lesson from this is to just respect everyone around you. Well, that was a nice story, but we're gonna watch some more. Guys, by the way, if you're watching this from your phone or iPad, after you click the like button, just make sure you hype this video. It helps us a lot. Thank you.
Snorted ramen noodles through my nose for the 5th time that week, because once they realized it happened when I laughed, the bullies turned it into a game. They'd hand me food, tell me to eat it, then do everything they could to make me laugh. They all thought I was just some fat kid who couldn't stop eating. What they didn't know was every meal started at home. Every morning before school, I'd cook, taste it, adjust it, taste it again until it was perfect. It had to be, because my mom had been sick for years. The medicine changed how food tasted. If one flavor was even slightly off, she wouldn't eat. So every day I learned exactly how much soy sauce, exactly how much salt, exactly how much sesame oil, then I'd eat breakfast with her.
Okay, hold up, wait a minute. What does this have to do with the beginning of the video? Like, why was he snorting the noodles? Let's find out. I'm so lost.
Eat lunch at school and finished whatever she couldn't. She always smiled and said, food shouldn't be wasted. By the end of every day, I'd eaten enough for 2 people. The next—
oh, that's why he got fat. Because he didn't want to waste food. He didn't want to throw it away, even though his mother didn't like the food. So he had to eat it.
Morning, our principal announced, after school, we're holding a cooking competition. First prize, $1,000.
Yes!
1 month of mom's medicine. I wrote my name down. The bullies saw it and burst out laughing. The fat kid? I guess eating counts as practice. After school, the competition began. I made mom's fried rice. The same fried rice I'd cooked hundreds of times. Halfway through, I turned around to grab another egg. And when I looked back, one of the bullies had emptied an entire bag of white powder into my wok. The crowd gasped. Ew, he's putting chemicals in his food. Even the judges started whispering. I picked up the bag. MSG. I couldn't help but smile, because in our house, MSG wasn't the problem. Too much of it was. I tasted the fried rice. Not yet. Too salty, too strong. Most people would have thrown it away, but I'd spent years fixing food before my mom ever took a bite. I grabbed another pan, added more rice, more eggs, more vegetables, then balanced it with soy sauce, sesame oil, and a little garlic. Then a final touch of spring onions. Every ingredient
Comeback
had a
of the
purpose,
century.
just like my mom taught me. The bullies thought they ruined my dish, but they didn't realize they were testing the exact thing I'd practiced every single day. The judges tasted it, one looked at the others, then back at me. The balance is incredible. Another judge smiled. Who taught you to cook like this? I looked over at the bullies, then answered, eating. The same kids who laughed every lunch couldn't even look at me. Then the judges announced the winner, me. Turns out eating was practice.
Yes! Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He wasn't fat by choice. Hey, that's the title of the short. Oh, wow. Also, what is in the bully's plate? What did bro cook? Bro burnt a pizza slice. Yeah, they literally burnt a pizza. Anyways, W son, W cook, L bully. Let's keep going. So far, Asian story is pretty nice. Yeah, it's actually very good. I haven't seen like a really weird short from this guy. So let's keep on looking. We might find some gross stuff.
My dog wouldn't stop barking at me over and over. I looked at his food bowl, empty. You hungry? I filled it. He didn't even look. He just kept barking. That wasn't normal. Every morning before I left for school, Milo waited by the front door. I scratched behind his ears, give him a treat, then he'd watch me leave. He never barked, never tried to stop me until today. He stepped in front of the door, barking. Then he grabbed my sleeve and started pulling. You need to go outside? I reached for his leash. He ignored it. So I opened the back door. Usually he'd sprint into the yard. This time he didn't move. He just looked at me, then barked again. What do you want? I grabbed his favorite tennis ball, the one he never ignored. I tossed it. It rolled right past him. He didn't even look. Instead, he ran down the hallway, stopped outside my mom's bedroom, and barked again. I sighed. My mom always sleeps in. Leave her alone. He barked louder. I walked over. Milo, keep this up and you're not getting treats. But he didn't care. He started scratching at our bedroom door hard. I never seen him do that before, so I grabbed his collar and pulled him away. He fought against me harder than he ever had before. The second I let go, he sprinted right back, scratching even harder. He ignored everything.
Just
his
open
favorite
the door.
toy, his favorite treat, nothing mattered except getting me to open that door. Something was wrong. So I opened it. My mom was exactly what she'd always be, still asleep. I smiled. See, I started closing the door. Then I froze. The room was silent, too silent. My mom always snored every morning. Mom? No answer. I stepped closer. Her hand hung over the side of the bed. I picked it up, cold. My heart started racing. I shook her shoulder. Mom? Nothing. I grabbed my phone and called 911. The ambulance arrived minutes later. The doctors rushed her inside. I sat in the waiting room holding Milo's leash, both of us praying she'd be okay. Hours later, a doctor walked out. If she'd got in here even 1 minute later, we couldn't have saved her. I looked down at Milo. He looked back at me, tail wagging. I reached into my pocket and pulled out his favorite treat, the same one he ignored that morning. This time, he took it. I smiled. You deserve the whole bag.
Wow. The dog saved the mother's life. Wow, this one was amazing. This one was by far the best one. It wasn't even weird or anything. It was just great. And you know what I noticed about his shorts? It sounds like it's a real guy behind all of this, like a real voice. Oh yeah, the voice is real. The animation is not AI. Like I could hear some emotion in his voice. Some of these channels literally have an AI voice. W channel so far, Asian story is pretty good. It's very good. Are they gonna make a her Asian story channel? We're gonna have to wait and see. All right, this story was amazing, but the next one will top it off.
A group from the biggest dojo in town walked through our doors. Their master looked around and laughed. 3 people using an entire dojo? You're wasting this place. My dad lowered his head. He was ready to leave. Before he could, I stepped forward. Then fight for it. The room went silent. Their master smiled. 1 match. Your best student against mine. No weapons, no interference. Next week. My dad grabbed my shoulder. What are you doing? You've never even sparred. He wasn't wrong. Every morning my dad called me outside. Time to train. But training never lasted long. My little sister always waited beside us. She dreamed of learning too, but she couldn't. She was born with an immune disease. So instead, my dad taught us something else. Again, we breathed in slowly, then out again. He'd always say, when your breathing stays calm, your mind does too. Some days my sister could barely finish, so I counted every breath with her so she wouldn't have to do it alone. After that, I prepared her medicine, cooked her meals, then climbed the mountain behind our village, carrying 2 heavy buckets. At the very top was the only spring with water clean enough for her treatments. Every day I carried those buckets home, then woke up and did it again. For 7 days my dad taught me how to fight. Then the day of the duel arrived. The best student stepped forward. He was twice my size. We bowed, then he attacked. Fast, powerful. Every punch, every kick missed by inches. I never swung back. I just moved again and again. The crowd started whispering, then laughing. His confidence started disappearing. Technique became frustration. Frustration became anger. His punches got wider. His kicks got slower. His breathing turned into gasps. Mine never changed. I could still hear my dad. When your breathing stays calm, your mind does too. Finally, he screamed, "Stop running!" running. That's when one of his teammates threw him a sword. The crowd gasped. He'd broken the rules. I looked toward the master, waiting for him to stop the match. He didn't. Then I heard another voice. Catch! I turned. My sister was standing, holding our old wooden practice sword. She smiled and tossed it to me. My dad always said, a sword doesn't beat another sword. The person holding it does. He charged. One step, one strike. His blade split in half. Silence. I looked at my dad, then at my sister. I raised my fist and got 2 in return.
Well, that was pretty nice. Aura. That was aura. But there's no way you can split a katana blade with a wooden sword. Yeah, absolutely no way. But he won the match. W discipline. Bro just remained calm, kept his breathing right. That was a nice story. Are you guys ready for the next one? This one is by far the best one.
He spat out the dumpling. Everyone in the restaurant went silent because this wasn't just anyone. He was the world's most famous competitive eater. And after one bite, he looked at my mom and said, "This is the worst dumpling I've ever had." My mom didn't say anything because deep down, she knew her restaurant was already struggling. Some days we didn't even sell 10 dumplings. But what he didn't know was that this restaurant was the last thing my dad left us. My parents opened this place together. They spent years building it. Every table, every recipe, every corner of the restaurant held a memory of him. But after my dad passed away, my mom kept it running alone. Even when business slowed down, even when it got harder every year, she refused to let go. Then the competitive eater stood up. Before leaving, he pointed at the biggest dumpling on the menu. "I'll make you a deal. If someone here can finish that, I'll tell my followers this is the best dumpling shop I've ever been to. But if they fail, you close this place." My mom immediately refused. "We're not risking our restaurant." He smirked. I figured, then turned toward the door. "Wait, I'll do it." My mom grabbed my arm. "You've never done anything like this." I looked at the empty tables, then at her. "If I don't, we lose anyway." She closed her eyes, then quietly nodded. A giant bamboo steamer was placed in front of me. Inside was one massive dumpling. The timer started. 60 minutes. The first few bites were easy. Then my stomach started fighting back. Every bite was harder than the last. Halfway through, the competitive eater leaned back, smiling. I knew it, but I kept eating. One bite, then another. Soon, only a quarter remained. His smile disappeared. He stood up, walked over, and accidentally knocked my water onto the dumpling. It soaked straight through, making every bite twice as heavy. He shrugged. Oops. My mom reached for the plate. "That's enough." Not yet. 5 minutes, 3 bites. 1 minute, 1 bite. The timer started beeping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I swallowed the final bite. The competitive eater stared at the empty plate, then laughed. "Fake. You switched the dumpling. There's no way a kid finished that." Then he stormed out the front door. His cameraman never moved. He looked down at his camera, then said, "I got everything." That night, he uploaded the footage, the cheating, the excuses, everything. By the next morning, millions of people had watched a famous competitive eater lose, then blame a kid for cheating. A week later, people lined up around the block. My mom looked out the window. "Do you think they're here for the challenge?" I looked at the customers walking out, carrying boxes of dumplings. "They came for the challenge. They'll come back for your dumplings."
Yes! W restaurant. That was a good one. They did it. I've never tried this before, but I think if I have in front of me a big dumpling, I think I can finish that in less than an hour. Nah. I don't know how bad that would be. If that were me, that would have been gone in seconds. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a dumpling. It feels so easy to eat. Big old dumpling. Yeah. Now I'm hungry. Oh, more food. You said you're hungry? Yes. We got another one with food.
Every lunch, I opened my mom's homemade dumplings. Before I could take a bite, the bully pinched his nose. "Your food stinks." Then he knocked my lunch onto the floor. His friends laughed. The bully looked at me. "What are you gonna do about it?" I looked down, picked up every dumpling, one by one. Then I said, "Not yet." The next day, he dumped my lunch into the garbage. "What about now?"
Nah.
"Not yet."
Bro, we're squaring up. If you're throwing my lunch into the freaking trash can, you're getting whooped. You're getting thrown into the trash can. You're getting washed into the toilet. Like, you're not doing that to me.
A week later, he shoved me into my locker. His friends surrounded me. "You gonna fight back?" "Not yet." They laughed even harder. Months passed. Everyone thought I was scared. What nobody knew was every night I'd wake up and see the kitchen light on. My mom still wearing her work clothes, folding dumplings long after midnight. She had work the next morning, but she still made them every day. Before the sun came up, I was training, running, lifting, learning how to fight, because every morning I remembered those dumplings lying on the cafeteria floor, and I trained harder. Then one Friday, he grabbed my lunch and threw it away before I even opened it. I looked down at the dumplings sitting in the garbage. He laughed. "What? Your mom can just make more." Then he leaned closer. "It's not like she has anything better to do." For the first time, I looked him in the eyes. After school, he stopped laughing. "What? You and me, we're done waiting." He smiled. "You better call an ambulance. You're gonna need one after this." By the final bell, half the school was waiting outside. The bully stepped into the circle, laughing. He finally grew a spine. I took off my backpack and set it on the ground. I didn't say a word. He charged and threw the first punch, but I could see them, the punches. Before they happened, left hook, I ducked. Right hook, I stepped aside. Another punch, missed. Another, missed. Months of training made everything feel slower. The crowd started cheering. The bully got angrier. He swung harder, faster, but he couldn't touch me. Then he stopped. He looked around and grabbed a brick. The crowd went silent. For the first time, I stopped moving because I realized dodging his punches wasn't enough. I had spent months learning how to avoid getting hurt, but if I didn't stop him, someone else would get hurt next. He charged, holding the brick above his head. I waited until the last second. Then I stepped forward and threw one punch right on his jaw. The brick fell from his hand. His eyes rolled back. His body went limp. He hit the pavement. I looked past him at every friend who laughed, who shoved me, who mocked my mom's cooking. One of them laughed. What are you looking at? I looked past him. Not you. The ambulance. I called for him.
Aura. Oh my gosh.
That was cold.
This guy is the master of aura farming.
That was a good story. I like this one.
His story got new competition. That's what I'm saying. Is Asian story up next or not?
My dad stood up in the middle of the audience and walked out. I'd never seen him leave a competition before. My brother never showed up. Nobody knew why. Not even me. Every time my brother missed a note, my dad would stop him and say again. Sometimes he'd spend 20 minutes playing the same 10 seconds over and over.
That's some Michael Jackson stuff. That's literally some Michael Jackson stuff, bro. How are we saying the same thing?
And the moment he finally got it right, my dad would smile. That's my son. Every competition, my parents sat in the front row. Every trophy went into the cabinet above our fireplace. Sometimes I'd stand there, imagining one with my name on it. I wanted to learn piano too, not because I loved music, because
it said Asian there. The Asian trophy. Congratulations, you're the best Asian in the world.
On it. I wanted to learn piano too, not because I loved music, because I wanted my parents to look at me the way they looked at him. Then one afternoon, a second piano arrived. I couldn't stop smiling. I thought, finally, this one's for me. But my dad never called me downstairs. Days turned into weeks. The piano stayed untouched, except by my brother. Every afternoon, he practiced 4 hours without missing a day. Whenever I walked toward the piano, he'd stop me. Dad said, I'm practicing. Then he'd close the door. Eventually, I stopped asking. Until years later, I finally asked my mom, why didn't dad ever teach me? She looked down, then quietly said, the day the second piano arrived, your dad told your brother, now both my boys can become pianists. Your brother looked at him and said, if he has to practice, I'm done. Your dad laughed. He thought your brother was bluffing. He wasn't. He skipped the biggest competition of his life. Then he refused to touch the piano. Days passed, then weeks. Your dad begged him to play again. Your brother only said one thing, you'll have one pianist or none. The next morning, he sat back down and practiced for another 8 years. I looked at my mom, but why? Her eyes filled with tears. He knew exactly what those 4 hours felt like. He wanted you outside, riding your bike, playing with your friends, having the childhood he never had. That's when I looked at the trophy cabinet, and for the first time, I didn't envy it. I understood, but every trophy had really cost. My entire childhood, I thought my brother had everything. I never realized he gave it all up, so I wouldn't have to.
Okay, that was sweet, and I kind of understand the motive behind his brother's thought process, but like, you just have to tell him. You just have to tell him, hey, I want you to have a childhood. Don't start doing piano because I think you should go outside with your friends. He should have said that. Not trying to be rude about it, like, oh no, this is my piano and I'm the only pianist in this house. No, you're not. Everybody can do what they want to do.
I also really encourage people to start learning instruments. I heard that it really develops a part of your brain. So if you start learning any instrument, that's gonna do very good for your big brain.
Yeah, especially if you're young.
Oh yeah.
Like, you gotta start practicing. Like, piano is one of the best instruments you can start practice, and that's gonna help you become more intelligent over time. Believe it or not, that's true.
Any instrument.
It's factual and you know it.
You can start doing piano, guitar, drums,
beatbox. But anyways, guys, that was so much fun. If you want to watch one more video, just click on screen right now.